Without you, I'll face a life that devours my heart and soul. Leaving you means choosing a life of emptiness over the love you give. If I go, I'll return to a life where nothing matters anymore. Without you, I'll be swallowed by the cold and bitter world outside. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. Leaving you means stepping back into a world where I'll never feel whole again. Without you, I'll be left alone in the cold shadows of an unforgiving world. If I leave, I'll be lost in a world where love is only a dream. Without you, I'll return to a place where pain is the only truth. If I leave, I'll never escape the darkness that's been chasing me. Leaving you means falling back into a life of sadness and regret. If I leave, the world will steal everything that's left of me. Without you, I'll be swallowed by a world that takes and never gives. If I go, I'll return to the evil world I tried to leave behind. Without you, I'll be trapped in a life that's empty and unforgiving. Leaving you means choosing a life of heartbreak over the peace we shared. If I leave, I'll go back to a world that will never understand me. Without you, I'll be lost in a world of shadows and regret. If I leave, I'll return to a life where love is just a fleeting illusion. Leaving you means stepping back into a world where happiness doesn't exist. Without you, I'll be swallowed by a life of cold silence and bitterness. If I leave, I'll be forced into a world that will never heal me. Leaving you means returning to a life I never wanted to face again. If I leave, the darkness of the world will swallow my soul. Without you, I'll be pulled into a life that takes but never gives. If I leave, I'll return to a life where love was just a cruel dream. Without you, I'll be trapped in a world that drains my spirit dry. If I leave, I'll be lost in a world where nothing feels real. Without you, I'll be forced back into the shadows where I belong. If I leave, I'll go back to a world that's never given me peace. Leaving you means surrendering to a life that steals my soul. If I go, I'll return to a world that only knows pain and regret. Without you, I'll be lost in a world that's never cared for me. If I leave, I'll fall into the darkness I've been fighting all this time. Leaving you means stepping into a world that will never heal me. If I go, I'll be trapped in a life where love is just an illusion. Without you, I'll be consumed by a world of endless sorrow. If I leave, I'll return to a world where I'm nothing but a ghost. Leaving you means choosing a life where every day feels like a battle. Without you, I'll be alone in a world that refuses to offer solace. If I leave, I'll fall back into the darkness that almost destroyed me. Without you, I'll be forever searching for a love that doesn't exist. If I leave, I'll be lost in a life where every step leads to more pain. Leaving you means returning to the chaos I tried to outrun. If I go, I'll face a life where peace is a distant memory. Without you, I'll be caught in a world that only brings me sorrow. If I leave, I'll return to a world that takes but never gives back. Leaving you means stepping into a world that will only break me further. If I leave, I'll be submerged in the evil that once ruled my life. Without you, I'll lose myself in a world that doesn't understand love. If I go, I'll be drawn back into the void where light can't reach me. Leaving you means falling back into a life of endless pain and confusion. Without you, I'll be wandering in a world that never sees me for who I am. If I leave, I'll be haunted by the darkness I thought I left behind. Leaving you means choosing to drown in a world that never cared. If I go, I'll be cast back into a life of isolation and regret. Without you, I'll be facing a world that only knows how to break me. If I leave, I'll return to a place where love was nothing but a fantasy. Leaving you means stepping back into a world that suffocates my soul. If I go, I'll be trapped again in the life I fought to escape. Without you, I'll face a world that steals away everything worth living for. If I leave, I'll be pulled into a life that leaves no room for peace. Leaving you means returning to a world where love never lasts. If I go, I'll be consumed by a world that has no mercy. Without you, I'll be lost forever in a world that doesn't see me. My dear, if I leave you, I'll return to a world that will break me again. Love, if I walk away, the darkness will swallow me whole. If I leave, I'll be consumed by a world that doesn't care. I fear that if I leave, I'll lose myself in a cold, ruthless world. Leaving you means returning to a world where I'll never feel loved again. Without you, I'll face a life that's empty and cruel. If I leave, I'll return to a life where pain and loneliness reign. My love, leaving you means losing my way back to light. If I go, the evil world will pull me apart, piece by piece. The moment I leave, the world's cruelty will have me again. I can't leave you. I'm terrified of the world I'd have to return to. If I leave, I'll be swallowed whole by a world that doesn't care. Leaving you would drag me back to the darkness I can't survive. If I walk away, the evil world will break me beyond repair. The world outside you is full of shadows I never want to face alone. I can't leave, or I'll drown in the chaos I left behind. If I leave, I'll return to the cold silence of a broken world. Without you, I'll be pulled into a life of endless suffering. If I leave you, the world outside will crush me with its darkness. Leaving you is like choosing pain over the love that saved me. If I walk away, I'll return to a life that devours my soul. Without you, the world feels cold, unforgiving, and full of lies. I'd rather stay in your arms than face the evil waiting for me. Leaving you means returning to a world I never truly escaped. If I leave, I'll be lost forever in a place without love. Without you, I'd be drowning in a world too cruel to survive. If I walk away, the evil world will tear me apart once more. My dear, if I leave, I'll return to the chaos I tried to escape. I can't leave. Without you, I'll be trapped in the evil world I left behind. If I walk away, the world's darkness will swallow me whole again. Leaving you means opening the door to a life I can never escape. If I go, I'll be faced with a life that takes away everything I love. Without you, I'll be forced back into a world that only knows pain. If I leave, I'll never survive the evil world that waits for me. I can't leave because I know the world will break me without you. Leaving you means falling back into the grip of darkness. If I walk away, I'll be lost in the shadows of a cruel world. My love, if I leave, the world outside will chew me up and spit me out. If I leave, the world's evil will be my only company. Without you, I will return to a life where love no longer exists. If I leave, I'll return to the misery I thought I left behind. Walking away from you means stepping back into a world that doesn't care. Leaving you would mean returning to a life that is empty and painful. If I leave, the world outside will consume everything I've ever loved. Without you, the evil world will take everything that's good in me. If I leave, the darkness of the world will destroy everything I hold dear. My dear, leaving means losing myself in a world where hope no longer exists. If I walk away, I'll return to the emptiness I tried to escape. Leaving you means walking into a world that's cruel and unkind. If I go, I'll be pulled back into the evil I thought I'd escaped. Without you, I'll be forced into a life of hopelessness and pain. If I leave, I'll face a world where love has no place. My dear, leaving you would mean returning to a life of endless sorrow. If I walk away, the evil world will reclaim what's left of me. Leaving you would destroy the last piece of me that's still alive. If I leave, I'll have to live in a world that takes but never gives. Without you, I'll be a soul wandering in a world of hatred. If I go, I'll return to a life that only knows pain and regret. Leaving you means stepping into a life of shadows and silence. If I leave, I'll be caught in a life that never lets go. Without you, I'll be trapped in a world that's hollow and heartless. If I go, I'll return to the evil I promised myself I'd escape. My dear, leaving you means abandoning the last hope I have. If I leave, I'll be torn apart by a world that never knew love. Without you, I'll face a world where even the light is stolen. Leaving you means returning to a life of endless heartache and regret. If I go, I'll be lost forever in a world that takes everything from me. Without you, I'll be swallowed by a life that doesn't care. If I leave, the darkness will swallow me whole once more. My love, if I walk away, I'll lose myself in a world of evil. If I go, I'll return to a place where pain is all that remains. Leaving you means stepping back into the chaos I fought so hard to escape. If I leave, I'll return to a world that doesn't care about my soul. Without you, I'll be lost in a world that takes but never gives. If I leave, the evil world will reclaim everything I've ever loved.